Carl from Cabrillo Marine Aquarium here. You know, most people, when they hear the word aquarium, automatically think of fish. So today, let's take a look at some of the fish that we have here at the aquarium. Check them out. Scientists estimate that of all the vertebrates on the planet Earth, over half the species are fish. Which actually makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Over 70% of our planet is covered with water. That gives a lot of room for the fish to fill and call home. Fish are vertebrates, meaning they have a backbone. Like this thing right along here. The definition of a fish is a finned vertebrate with gills. So vertebrate, backbone, fins, you can see here, and gills, which would be right in this section. There are two types of fish. The bony fish, osteichthyes, like this guy right here, have a skeleton made of bone. The cartilaginous fish, the chondrichthyes, have a skeleton made of cartilage, like the stuff in your nose and ears. Those would be the sharks, skates, rays, and their cousins. We'll talk about them on a future visit. Today we'll stick with the bony fish. Fish live at all levels of the water, from the surface all the way down to the bottom of the ocean, which is about 7 miles deep. Sometimes we can tell something about them and their lifestyle from their body shape. Notice this guy down here, not the one buried in the sand. This one has kind of a broad body with large pectoral fins, and it's good for sitting on the ground. These other fish are a little more streamlined and are good for being up in the water. Back to those buried fish, which are very eel-like, are good for burrowing down into the sand and mud. These fish here are residents of our kelp forest. That's the giant seaweed you see growing off the coast of California. Many of them make camouflage to blend into the kelp, like this giant kelp fish, which actually looks like a piece of kelp. Others blend into the rocks and even the shadows and light, making them very hard to see. Some may even be brightly colored, like this Garibaldi, which, by the way, is our California state marine fish. The males are highly territorial and will chase other animals out of their nesting area. Rocky reefs can be very crowded in terms of seaweeds, rocks, and even fish. Right now we see a gunnel that has a very eel-like body for moving around the rocks. Young kelp fish may also hide in these areas, as they can blend in and also move easily around the cracks and crevices. Other fish will use the seaweed and caves to hide in, helping them survive. This is one of our deep water anglerfish, called a football fish. Anglerfish have a glowing lure that hangs out over the front of their mouth. Right there. The glow comes from bioluminescence, which is a process by which living things create their own light, and the glow attracts other animals that the anglerfish will then eat. This is another of our deep sea anglerfish. It's called a triple wart sea devil. This wire-like structure right here is the lure that it uses to get its food. Unfortunately, our anglerfish on display are not alive. Many deep sea fish can't survive the trip to the surface because of the change in temperature. Water down where they live is close to 0 degrees Celsius. And when bringing them up to the much warmer surface waters, they just can't take it. Here's a test. Fish or not? That's right. Well, these are often called jellyfish. They obviously have no backbone and they have no fins. Therefore, not a fish. But very beautiful to look at. Although seahorses don't look like a regular fish, they do have a backbone, they do have fins, and they do have gills. So they are indeed a fish. A very interesting and fairly majestic looking fish. A cousin to the seahorse is the pipefish, which we can see right here. There he is. You have to look carefully. Their body shape and color help them blend into the eelgrass beds they live in. As I move, can you see more pipefish? These are flatfish. They're called sand dabs. And when they settle down, you can see they blend in very well with the surface that they're sitting on. This is a great adaptation for their survival, along with their flat bodies that allow them to lie flat and easily bury into the sand or mud. Our friend here is a moray eel. Although they have a fierce reputation, morays are not really all that aggressive and prefer to retreat and hide whenever possible. Their long, snake-like bodies allow them to get in and around the cracks and crevices and caves that they call home. This is a juvenile Garibaldi. Notice the blue stripes? They let adult males know that this is a juvenile and not a threat, so they won't chase them off. Fish are fascinating. Their amazing adaptations, the incredible diversity, truly make them a wonder to behold. We know quite a bit about fish, but are always learning more as our technology improves and new species are discovered. Their beauty and their mystery help make the ocean an exciting place to visit and explore. I hope you'll join us again soon for more explorations of the marine environment. See you later.